support business owners achieve their goals. We're just going to let Cornelius in. There we go. I'm just going to say good morning, Cornelius. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, there he is.
Good morning. You're right.
Morning. Yeah, we've
right.
hit record and we're going live. So great to have you with us. I'm just going through an introduction at the moment. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself before I carry on?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my name is Cornelius. I work in property. So I've got a real estate company, residential real estate. So I help investors basically, maximize their investments and guide them through the whole kind of the property life cycle. That's in short what I do.
Great. Thanks, Cornelius. We met through the Faith-Driven Entrepreneur Network. I think you're also a part of the Creo Network as well. So yeah, I spent a bit of time last year kind of with weekly sessions with Cornelius, just exploring our faith, because we both share a faith in Jesus, which is fantastic. So yeah, feel free to, I'm just saying before you hopped on, they're quite interactive, these sessions. We're just going to chip in.
Sure.
Just going to go back a couple of slides to show you what's on the agenda today. So we're looking at the importance of appointment setting and scheduling in a business context. And we're going to look at Leadeth solution, look at Calendly, because I'm a big fan of Calendly, bit of a Q&A session, just see what you're up to. And then I'm going to sum things up and open it up to yourself. So yeah, in this masterclass, we're discussing appointment setting skills and how to schedule like a pro, using these skills to generate more leads and ideally close more deals for your business. So whether you're a small business owner or maybe you're a sales professional, anyone who's looking to improve their lead generation efforts, this masterclass is designed for just them in mind, to equip them with the knowledge and the tools to take their appointment setting up to the next level. And just close that one down. Look, keep getting little notifications in Zoom. My call recorder wants to hop in on the action as well. I'm not going to let it in today because it slows the computer down. Yeah, so what we're going to look to learn today is the importance of effective appointment setting, scheduling, and generating leads and then closing deals. So we'll look at strategies for identifying the right sort of getting those right prospects and setting up appointments that are going to convert. And we're going to look at how to use appointment scheduling tools like Calendly. And that basically is going to streamline that whole appointment setting process and save you time. Best practices for following up with prospects and keeping them engaged throughout the appointment setting and scheduling process. We'll look at that and how I do that, and tips for building a sustainable appointment setting system and basically to get you consistent leads and revenue for your business. So by the end of the masterclass, hopefully you'll have a solid understanding of what all this appointment setting and Calendly and automation is all about, along with some practical tips and tools that hopefully improve your lead gen efforts. So let's get started. I like to always go back to some classic marketing methodologies because I'll refer to this in the masterclass. Obviously on the left there, we've got the classic marketing funnel. We're trying to generate awareness. So think about your types of target audience going in the top of that funnel. We need to make sure we're putting content out there to catch them. And then once they've seen that, that's going to pique their interest. We need to drive them down this sales funnel so they consider your services as a viable option and then ultimately purchase. And then as soon as they've purchased, we want to look at retaining them. And the flywheel effect on the right there, that's a common methodology as well that I always refer to. We're attracting clients, we're engaging with them, delighting them, and then they become our raving fans to then tell other people. And that creates this flywheel effect where, you know, your clients are going to refer you clients, and it's just a continuous circle that flourishes. So where does Calendly and appointment setting sit in the big ecosystem of what I'm doing? So I provide a done-for-you LinkedIn lead gen service for clients. And it starts right there at the bottom. At number one, we identify the target audience. So we do a bit of work around looking at that audience in a bit of detail. And then we look at personalizing that profile, because it's pointless in having a profile that's targeting some, random segment or niche and they're not interested. We got to make sure there's clarity there. So that's a key stage. And we've actually done a weekly session on every one of these stages so far. And we're at week 6 right at the top there. So LinkedIn automation, that's week 3. That was looking at automating all of this. Email outreach, again, vital element to those valid touch points. Last week, we looked at video content marketing, and that was all about creating engaging content that's going to set you apart as a thought leader, someone who's quite influential in your industry, to make you shine and bring in those inbound inquiries. And then, as I say, appointment setting is the final stage, which is all about CRMs and bringing all this information together. I like to think of Calendly almost kind of right in the middle. Everything kind of flows into it and out of it, and it's So that's what we're looking at. So the importance of setting appointments and scheduling with people. So in this section, we're going to discuss why effective appointment setting and scheduling is crucial for especially small businesses. My focus is kind of SMEs, but all the big boys tend to be doing this really efficiently as well. So we're going to look at some of the common challenges that business face in this area. I've got a couple of stats. Check this out. 80% of sales require five follow-up calls after the initial contact. I know that says calls, but 44% of sales reps give up after one no. So it just goes to show how persistent we need to be, with getting our message across. That's quite a great stat. That came from Marketing Donut. Another stat here from Hootsuite, who do a kind of social media platform. 78% of salespeople engaging in social selling outperform their peers. So social selling is all about connecting with your prospect through social media, and the area that I've been focused on is LinkedIn, because that's a B2B audience, which so they're ideal kind of clients for me. So as a small business owner, you know that your time is valuable and you've got to make every single minute count. And that's where effective appointment setting and scheduling comes in. It's the process of managing your calendar and booking appointments with potential clients or customers, or it could be existing clients, so you can then focus on what you do best. And when you do that in a really efficient way, it starts to come, just when you do it effectively, you're not going to miss out on potential sales and revenue. For example, you might end up double booking appointments or completely forgetting about appointments and meetings that you need to be in. And that can obviously damage your reputation and cause you to lose business. So that's why it's quite important. Also, effective appointment setting and scheduling, it can also help you improve your productivity. And apparently it can reduce stress, so I'm told. So everyone talks about stress and mental health these days. So if there's something that's going to help you with that, it's got to be a good thing. So having a clear schedule and knowing what you need to do by when, and you can plan your day more effectively, and then you can avoid those last minute rushes just to get everything done. So despite its importance, many small businesses, they still struggle with this whole thing about setting appointments and scheduling. Some people have an old-fashioned calendar, and that's a good system. It can work well. But when you start to leverage automation and do things digitally, I think you can become a much more productive person. It just helps you to stay organized and keep track of everything. So some of the common challenges that businesses currently face. So obviously finding the right tools and software to manage their calendar and deal with all these appointments. Later on in the masterclass, we're going to look at G2. That's where you compare software. Dealing with no-shows or any of those annoying last-minute cancellations, how to deal with those. Coordinating schedules with multiple team members, or you could have multiple clients on a call. That can be quite a challenge. Managing different time zones. So if you're working with clients in a completely different time zone, how you go about managing that is vital, because you don't want to be an hour late for a meeting or an hour early or whatever that might look like. And often another big challenge is people just struggling to find the time to manage appointments alongside all their other business tasks and what they're doing. So in the next section, we're going to explore some solutions to these challenges, and I'm actually going to show you how I've been doing it, setting appointments, and with the help of my tool Leadeth, and also integrations with Calendly. So the Leadeth solution, Leadeth is actually kind of like a one tool does a lot. It's actually for finding prospects. It's actually for communicating with those prospects on that sales journey, right away from the initial point of contact all the way through to the close, the sale. So it's a bit like a CRM in terms of what its functionalities are and what it's doing. But I'm just going to show some of my integration solutions that I've been working on. Just going to switch to another window here, sign into the Leadeth tool. So it all starts with finding those prospects. So just to put this into a bit of context, I've created multiple campaigns here. We go into something called the Prospect Finder tool. It works a little bit like Sales Navigator in terms of we can search for Europe here. We can go for a location. It could be United Kingdom. I don't know, city, Birmingham. See if that comes up as a, yeah. And job title. So it could be something quite specific. Marketing director is one that I tend to use and go for. There we go. And it can also specify the size of the business. So kind of those small to medium enterprises, they're up to 200 employees. Once we I didn't like me location. Let's just go back and put Birmingham further up. Birmingham, city of Birmingham. There's lots of Birminghams. Works very similar to Sales Navigator in terms of finding those prospects. Basically, we've got a repository here of 640 million connected B2B contacts, LinkedIn contacts. And when we conduct a search like that, I'm just going to wait for the dots to do their magic. Hopefully it'll come up. Maybe I should take out Birmingham, not be so specific to this morning. It's taking its time. Come on. I think you just love demos, live demos. Let's simplify the search, I think, for it. Oh, there they go. We've got them. Yep. So we've got a list of prospects, all marketing directors in the Birmingham area. You might even know this one here. I don't know. Are you Birmingham, Cornelius, or whereabouts are you based?
No, Manchester.
Oh, Manchester, a bit further up north. But just for the example here, what we can do, we've got a list of prospects. We can choose kind of 5 of those prospects and enrich them. So when we talk about enriching, we're actually finding their corporate email address here. We've also got a personal Gmail address as well. And then scroll across, we've also got contact telephone numbers. We've got all that data ready to go. And then we initiate a campaign by adding those prospects to a campaign. And the campaign looks a little bit like this. So I've got one here I created earlier for marketing directors. I've got one that uses AI and puts a little bit of an icebreaker in there. So my marketing directors campaign is basically those prospects will go into the top of this funnel. We perform an action, a profile page view. We then connect with them using a personalized video message. And that's really cool because we've actually got these videos that we can attach. And then on the back of the video, this is what it looks like. Just go show you my inbox. Masterclass. Just going to try and show you a video where I've included my my video outreach. We'll find one here in a minute. These are all masterclass emails. Promoting the masterclass, getting people to the masterclass. Let's go back. Masterclass. There we go. New marketing directors. Not that one. So this is a message that we sent out. Hi, check out my video message, and it creates this web link. The client then clicks on the web link, and then straight away we've got a bit of a sales landing page, I guess, a video sales letter. So this particular one actually incorporates their personal profile. Good morning, it's Alex. It's a 30-second video of me talking over the top of her LinkedIn profile while scrolling up and down her profile, just seeing her skills and things like that. Very personalized. And then on the back end of that, we go straight away for a Calendly integration. So that's kind of the workflow. We're sending these invites out and we're getting them to have appointments or meetings with us, or even if it's to join us on a webinar or masterclass. And that's kind of what we're looking to achieve there. So Calendly is a great tool for kind of integrating all of this. Are you familiar with Calendly, Cornelius?
Yes, I've got the free version. So
Excellent.
Free version doesn't really do much. So I think I'm need to upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of whatever it is, £12 a month or £9 a month, it's definitely worth the investment. Let's just go into Calendly. So yeah, once you've signed into Calendly, you can go to your account. So I've actually got the pro plan myself. It allows you to create multiple event types. So I have an event type laid out for absolutely everything I do, everything in my diary from in-person meetings. So as well, like me, I've got multiple calendars. So I've got a plethora of Google calendars just to double check I'm free and in the times I say I'm free, which is a great feature. And then you can say, right, check for conflicts and where do you want to put the master events from this calendar into. So my Leadeth calendar in Google Workspace, that's kind of my main calendar. So once you've set up your calendars, you set your availability. So you can say, right, I'm available for meetings so I have a Monday and Tuesday between 9 and 5. Obviously, you can set up lunch breaks and things like that if you don't want people to book there. And then I don't work on a Wednesday, so I only do a 4-day week. So people can't book with me on a Wednesday unless I change that in my calendar settings and make it available. So you specify the times that you can work. So I've actually got 2 different working hours. I've got what I call onboarding calls. So these are the times of days that I prefer to do client onboarding calls. And then I've got my drop-in clinics, which is specifically for when clients can schedule and book a kind of group session. So I have specific times. So once you've set up your schedules, so my working hours would be the main one. You set up the events. For me, as I say, I've got quite a few different event types. So I've got my Masterclass events, which are actually a Calendly booking. I've got my online demos with clients. I've got strategy calls, different onboardings for different packages that clients on board with. And then I've got a client drop-in support session. So all these different event types here, if we go to edit one, you can see they're all connected with Zoom. So we actually go to integrations, connect Zoom, and it says WhatsApp event of this is a Zoom meeting. And we can change that. So if it wasn't Zoom, if you use Google Meets or Microsoft Teams or one of the other providers, if it's a face-to-face meeting, in-person meeting, you can specify that and let people put an address in or specify where they're going to meet you. So a basic description, some instructions, and then this is the vital a shortcut. So a lot of people don't forget to change that. And when you're in Zoom often or networking, it's really good to have a nice, short, easily rememberable link as well for creating your web strategy and creating those links onto your website and stuff like that. When can people book the event? So we can specify the duration of every meeting using existing schedules, or we can set up custom schedules for each meeting. We can then specify any buffers. So if you've got a bit of traveling time before your meeting, you can say, right, give me an hour, make sure there's an hour clear in my diary before that meeting gets booked. And that's a really powerful feature just to make sure you don't overrun and things like that. And then you can also make the specify how many of these types of events you want to run. So this one here is called an online demo. I could say, right, actually, I only want no more than 2 online demos per day. So as soon as you have 2 booked in your calendar, they won't book anymore. And this is kind of preventing that burnout, preventing you just being a slave to your calendar. It allows you to get a bit more control over it. There's a whole host of other questions here. So I'm just going to save changes now. So we can ask them questions. So this is really good for actually qualifying potential prospects. I use this a little bit differently. I always ask people for their LinkedIn URL, and on the back of that LinkedIn URL, I can then push that to third-party systems like email outreach and LinkedIn integrations to try and connect with people on LinkedIn as well. So so depending on what it is you're doing with those events, you can be quite flexible. Now, the workflows is quite a great feature. So this came in last year, probably at the start of last year, the workflows tab. It allows us to automate the process of sending reminders out to people to prevent cancellations and all of that. So if we just have a look at the workflows tab here, you can see some of my workflows. So most meetings, I do a 1-day email reminder. So that's just to remind people that, in exactly 24 hours, they're going to receive an email. And the email is very straightforward. You can connect it to your Gmail account or your Outlook account, or you can send it from Calendly server. Sometimes people say that that's better because then it reduces the likelihood of it getting caught in spam, because they know Calendly notifications is kind of not spam ever. So 2 options there. You can choose a preset template, and then you can just specify what you want your text to be. And it's all about creating those touch points. It's going back to that statistic with the 5 touch points, and we're going to need a lot of touch points to engage with these people. And if you can automate that, as much as possible, then great. So I actually recently created a brand new one, email sequence, and that was a follow-up to my strategy call. So strategy call, it's like a free one-to-one that I do with clients just to see if there's any synergy there, see if I can work with them and if they're a viable client for me. So yeah, I've got this one here, which is the strategy follow-up, and that's basically just an email. Obviously, the paid version allows you to send the text message reminders. So if somebody puts in their their mobile number, you can actually have automated text reminders, which is really cool, just to remind people. And you want to reduce the number of no-shows, because it's all about the number of leads coming in and the number that you can sit down and be in front of, and the number that you qualify. You'll have this magic figure, 1 in 5 or 1 in 2, but whatever it is, you've got the stats there and you can work with it. So yeah, I've created basically a follow-up email on the back of my on the back of my strategy calls, telling people what the next steps are and where they can view reviews and things like that. So that's quite cool. Yeah, so that's a bit of an overview of Calendly in action on my side, what I'm doing. I thought we'd kind of open up, have a bit of Q&A. So yeah, feel free to hop in, Cornelius. Let me know. Are you managing to maximize what you're doing with Calendly and use it to your advantage there?
Not at the moment. I think that Calendly is a really important thing. I definitely need to look into optimizing it, because like they say, like you need to make it easier for people to do business with you. And I think Calendly is exactly that bridge that can close the gap between, put in that wait time for people to interact with you. Because a lot of times on the website, it's just like, oh, you just put in an inquiry and you have to wait 24 hours. But actually, we're living in a time where people want an instant answer. So if you can put in your Calendly link and they can literally, like the next day or the next couple of days, they can literally meet up with you and ask you questions. That's a great thing to do. So I definitely need to do that more. Because there's this website called lawbite.co.uk. That was a real inspiration for me, because I want to kind of be available to my clients because I'm a property advisor. I want to just be available for like 50 minutes and give a quick advice on any questions they have. So if they have a very specific questions that I can just give them an answer to. So I want to kind of be available in a kind of 15 minutes segments. And lawbite.co.uk is a really great inspiration to have a look at, to see how they integrate Calendly and how they integrate the whole thing of like being available to people. So that's a great thing. My question is, how did you make that video with when you send that over to to your LinkedIn people?
Oh yeah, so that's all done through the Leadeth software.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. There are tools out there like Loom. I don't know if you've come across Loom. Loom allows you to record like a personalized video. So you can actually overlay your video on top of theirs and then send that on an individual basis to someone. But yeah, my software basically is automating that whole process. So I'm getting, a good level of people replying back to those videos because they just appear so personalized and really cool. But I'll just quickly share screen once more. So this is G2. I don't know if you've come across G2, but if you're looking for new software, this is quite cool because you can actually type in what type of software you're actually looking for. There's lots of categories here. So I've gone to online appointment scheduling software for small businesses. So you can actually drill it down to just small businesses rather than the software that corporates would use that is way out of your budget. And it basically ranks all the software from different reviews. So there's almost 10,000 reviews here for HubSpot Sales Hub. So HubSpot has got built-in integrations as well. So if you go to view full grid here, just accept the cookies. It maps all the software onto this. So you got your contenders over here, and then you got your leaders right on this corner. And then obviously down the bottom, you've got high performers, and then you've got niche players in their different niches. And you can segment this down by small business, mid-market, or enterprise. So for me, I always go for small business because I want kind of affordable software that's going to add value if possible. And you can see Calendly's right up there as a good leader of online appointment scheduling. There's a couple coming up through the ranks: Acuity Scheduling, Doodle, something called Doodle, Setmore, youcanbook.me. I've not heard of these. I've heard of this one, Chili Pepper. But yeah, so that's the website there, G2. It's really good. I'll paste it in the chat there, so you've got it in the chat if you want to refer to that later. And we also talked about how we can integrate a lot of these tools with other systems. And when you two systems start to talk together, you can actually achieve some really good results. So just an example of what I'm up to. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. Sorry, if I disappear, hopefully I'll come back. Oh, have I gone? Apologies, Cornelius. My internet blinked out then. It tends to do that around about 9:30 for whatever reason. But yeah, I was just chatting around Zapier, how it can talk to two different software systems. So I've got one here where I've got a cold email marketing sequence that I send. I use MailerLite to send the cold email sequences. So Calendly basically has a Zapier. So what it's doing is it's automatically fetching people that have booked in with your calendar and enrolling them into a long-term warm-up email sequence, or even just a short, thanks for doing this. So it's kind of doing what a lot of Calendly is doing in the background with the workflows, but you can actually connect this to other software, which is quite cool. So say someone books in a call with you, technically you could push that data anywhere you want. You could push out a tweet or push out a task in Slack to say you need to follow up with this person. So Zapier is a really good tool for automating some of that. So basically sort of closing out this session, this part of the session, let's summarize the kind of key takeaways. We've discussed the importance of effective appointment setting and scheduling for small business owners. We explored the benefits of automating this process and how it's going to save you time, reduce no-shows, those cancellations, and generally just improve that whole customer experience with you. And as you say, you want to make it as easy as possible, let the least amount of friction possible for people to get in touch with you. We looked at the common challenges faced by businesses in this area, such as manual scheduling and double booking and time zone mix-ups and all of that. And then we demonstrated how kind of Leadeth comes in as a solution, which kind of incorporates a bit of Calendly as well to kind of streamline that process. So so if you're looking to improve your appointment setting or scheduling processes and take your business up to that next level, I'd always encourage you to take out one of our strategy classes, and I'll mention about the strategy calls in a moment. So yeah, thanks for coming along, Cornelius. What's your biggest takeaway of the session? Just share with us, maybe.
I think just the whole automation, connect everything connected. Don't just get Calendly itself, but to get the whole kind of start small and then start connecting everything together. So where, for example, your SMS update 50 minutes before the event is really helpful because people don't check their emails that regularly. And if they see a text, then they're more likely to attend the meeting. So I think it's really important to start small with automation, but then eventually start connecting everything together, so it makes your life much easier.
Sure, and it's all about keeping that brand on tap. So for me, Leadeth.io, I've actually embedded the Calendly form here. So if you scroll down, we've actually got you have to enable the older cookies for it to come up. But yeah, this is basically a simplified Calendly form, but you can actually go and change the color of these buttons so they fit with your branding and your colors, which is quite cool. Obviously, the branding of the logo and everything else you're doing, you want it consistent. So that's really cool to make sure that that's all consistent as well. Kind of next steps for anyone that's watching the call, encourage you to book a free one-to-one strategy session with me at Leadeth and help me to provide these following benefits to you. So first of all, it's going to give you an opportunity to ask any questions about Leadeth, our services, the software that we've demonstrated this morning. It'll also help you to, during the session, we can discuss your business, your goals, your objectives, just see how many leads we need to be bringing into your business on a daily or weekly basis, so you can achieve those goals that you've set out. It allows me to, assess that and also see how we can work together to achieve those goals. Additionally, the strategy session gives me a chance to get to know you, ensure you're a good fit for Leadeth. I'm very much a believer of building strong relationships that are going to last the test of time, and I love working with all my clients, and make sure we get that fit right is always a vital part of the process. So to book a strategy call and start building that relationship, just scan the QR code and that'll take you to a Calendly page, surprisingly, where you can book it in. So eating my own medicine, or whatever the expression is. It's completely free. There's no cost, no obligations from you, nothing to lose. So just book a session, and let's spend an hour at sort of looking at business development in a bit more detail and how you can schedule on autopilot. So thanks very much, Cornelius. Thank you. Any final comments from yourself?
No. Great event.
Great. Thanks for joining me. So next week will be I can't remember what I've called it, but it's all about I think it's websites, making sure your websites are, here we go, that's today's Unlock the Power of Scheduling, unlocking the power of your website. So strategies for effective lead generation. So that'll be next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. We'll run this live. Just deep dive into kind of what people are doing with their websites at the moment, and trying to improve them and make sure they're actually generating leads. So many people have websites, they pay for the hosting, they pay for the domain, but it's just not generating them inquiries. So we're going to look at how to get some quality traction out of your website next session. So thanks, Cornelius. Good to catch up again, and thanks for being part of the masterclass.
Yeah, thanks. Take care.